So, yep, we have the game here between Dave Koenig and Alec Sjoholm, two really strong players. Alec, technically the reigning national champion, the North American champion, because we had to postpone our event this year in 2020. Alec was the most recent winner in 2019 in the NWL division. He is competing in Collins here, though. So we'll see. He makes a play that forms two Collins only words there. So clearly he's been studying a bit. He plays Roma and Jor. So, it gets answered very fast by Dave's Amidine, hooking that N onto Roma. We were talking earlier about hooks. And the N hook on Roma, I think Roma doesn't take an S, or maybe they just added it. It used to not, but it does take an N hook, and a nice play by Dave here for 92 points.
Close to bromance here for Alec, I would say. That would be a funny play through Roman.
He actually and
romantic too.
That's true. The B hook of romantic. Does anybody see what I think there would be a bingo? Just a trivia question. It doesn't play on this board. Does anybody see what 8-letter bingo Alec might have had with this rack? I'm just gonna look at the chat. I don't have any rewards or anything.
I'm not gonna look at the chat. I need to find this.
Anyway.
Continue on, Will. It's going to take a while.
Sure, yeah, no, that's fine. So yeah, just a little background on the players. We talked about Alec, really, really strong NWL player, making his transition into the International Collins Dictionary. Whereas Dave Koenig, his opponent, has long been a Collins advocate and player, and he's out to an early lead right now. CL Smith with a good guess.
I thought that's what it was. Damn.
But perhaps not. No, I think it's. Let me just see. Hopefully, I'm not wrong. Is this a word?
I got it.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You got it first.
Yeah, you typed it literally so you clearly got it. Yeah. So that would have been pretty nice.
Also, shout out to CL Smith. Hold on.
Yeah, nice to see you, CL Smith, who is another hybrid chess and, definitely a very strong chess player who is getting into Scrabble a bit more as well. So if you're interested in that type of hybrid content, another good channel to follow. So Fusey, yeah, that seems good. Just suggested by Noah is there any love for Fusey for 23? And that is the play that was made there. With that rack, what are the goals that we have with this rack of, you don't see it on your screen now, but...
good play. Good play.
Oh, very nice play by Dave. And the response comes down instantaneously, and we're going to see a bingo almost as instantaneously here in response of readopt, I think.
Yeah.
It almost goes down parallel to Amidine, but not quite.
Yeah, it's very confidently. That's the only bingo. Tapadero was there actually as well through the A
nice.
in Amidine, but I said only bingo, then I saw the other bingo instantly, of course. That's what happens. Readopt definitely safer.
Yeah, let's think about that. Oh, they're the exact same score. Okay, so Tapadero and readopt. Oh my goodness, and we have a special guest in the chat. It is my mom, Mommer15. Good to see you. Thank you for joining the broadcast. Appreciate it, Mom. I'll probably call you later tonight just to say hi and be a dutiful son. Thanks, Mom. Okay. So readopt versus Tapadero. Very quickly, just the same score would have made the hook of page through that AGE, through the A of Amidine, I should say, hooking the P. It would have put the O just way out in the open in the triple lane. So definitely a much safer choice of readopt, even though it does have some possibility of maybe you'll regret it if there's an EX play or something that your opponent might have, but ultimately definitely a safer choice overall.
Yeah, I think it's definitely the way to go. You really just have to have a very specific play to take advantage of that spot. Whereas if you play Tapadero, there are just loads and loads and loads of plays that will just hurt you really badly. Although we can see the main reason for not playing Tapadero is, oh my god, wait, we have to talk about that play first. But
Yeah, I know. There's a lot to.
the main reason for not playing Tapadero is Dave is already ahead by so much that you just don't want to open a triple triple.
Great point. Yeah. So with the score you see at the bottom, 234 to 108, a score like this with a margin so high here, that really does, as Josh said, it dictates that now more than ever, you really don't want to see. You don't want to put a tile into a triple lane because the score is so high. The only way you're likely to lose control of this game if you're Dave is to allow that play that goes through both triples. But
Let's look
wow,
at this.
look at
Let's look
that.
at this. This was an amazing play. I would say a top level play by
Yeah.
Alec here, by our national champion of ENG. Talk to us about that, Will. Actually, I'm gonna go take a bathroom break. Go ahead.
Okay, sure. I was gonna say you can take it, but I'll take it instead. So the play of ENG, again, we are switching back and forth from the NWL to the Collins Dictionary in the first few rounds as we just figure out where the standings are settling in each division. So the play of ENG only scoring 10 points, but it sets up in this dictionary, he has that huge ZE hook that if Dave had not played in that spot with Wid at the top of the board, Alec was threatening an enormous response with many different draws, but in particular, a T draw would be the perfect draw because it gives him the play of Trey or Trez, however you would say. I would this Trey. That would, okay, you see the other words are also Trey. All right, that's a pretty good clue. It's pronounced Trey. He would have played that to in the same spot where you see Wid for an incredibly huge score. And if he draws that T, he also gets Zest in the lower corner for 85 points. So all he has to do is draw a T. There were many T's left to draw in the bag. He hits one and he guaranteed himself a nearly a 90-point play. That's just a very clever idea by Alec there to put that E out in just the right spot with Eng. So Alec hits his giant Z play to narrow the gap considerably. Dave playing co-parallel to Wid for 26. And Alec is down by 100, but he was down by much more than 100 prior to his very clever setup play.
What a play. Honestly, it might not be sound, but sound is not going to do it for you in that position. You have to score 100 points next turn.
You got to do something crazy. Yeah. So the decision making from a game that's very even, where the scores are close, where players are even 10 points apart, 30 points apart, 40 points apart, the decision making that goes into those turns very different than your decision making when you're down 150, 200 points. Like Alec was nearly down by he was down by 170 or 80. When you get into those huge deficits, you have to go way off the grid and try to find plays that give you that crazy outside chance of winning. And I really like Eng on that basis because when you hit that T, you know you're getting a 90-point-ish play on your next turn. That's what you need in the.
Are we gonna have Kenji doing a video about it? I hope we have Kenji analyzing that position.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean that I will always be there for Kenji's analysis. I did see Kenji in the chat briefly expressing surprise that you are playing chess now. By the way, but yeah, both of us are catching that bug a little bit. We're catching that bug a little. And we hope that any of the chess players here watching, perhaps some coming from Eric Rosen's channel. I am Rosen, of course, a huge boon to all of us here in the Scrabble community. Shout out to Eric. I have an Eric command as well. I should probably dress that up a little nicer to give him a more personalized shout out. But anyway, any chess players watching, we're getting the bug to play chess because we're watching tons of chess on Twitch, and we're trying to make the reverse happen here by growing our own little world of streaming. So
Speaking of chess, I mean, Dave Koenig is a master of chess.
one of the strongest, yeah, Dave Koenig is an international master. He is an IM, and he is one of the strongest chess playing Scrabble players out there as well.
I don't
Definitely
like that play though.
the play of VA, yeah. So he could have played heavier. He could have just played heavier from the H of Wid, leaving just his S and scoring significantly better. I guess the nice thing about VA is it
go ahead.
blocks both the W and the Y of Wid and Dry, respectively. Those
So
are like, if you were to get a bingo there, they would score a ton of points, but it's very unlikely.
I think heavier does the same thing, but the thing that VA does that heavier does not is it stops huge scoring plays that are now actually a consideration. You don't want something like index to come down.
Yeah, we were
uh,
talking about that X
but
before.
heavier also blocks that. But so
Mhm.
now we're just thinking of just big X plays above heavier, maybe like no, I don't think there is anything. Actually, I'm trying to justify the play of heavier. It's not really working. But I mean, okay, it does get rid of the big X spot. And here we go. I mean, it worked out. Um, Persona comes down, and that should probably be it for this game.
Yeah, we had been talking before about how you don't want to open a triple lane if
Okay.
you can avoid it, but Persona, the only bingo available here for Dave, scoring 75 points, putting a P in the triple lane, very, very difficult to use for a triple. That's definitely warranted for Dave. He goes up by a ton. So we do like that for him there. And he is, after some very clever plays by Alec, Dave's just drawing well and playing quite well also.
Unsolved, good find.
Good
Yeah.
play. There's a nice play by Dave again. Alec bombs his X after Persona, and Dave
Ooh,
draws a blank and plays another bing.
He's
What's
almost.
that?
They're syrupers, like close to like all sorts of
Oh
fun.
yeah. Maybe we'll see something cool through PE. It doesn't even have to be a bingo now.
Yeah.
If we
Aspergill. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, oh wow, that would be incredible. But yeah, who knows if something like that is available? Not me. Maybe the Dave Weekends and Nigel Richardses of the world can know stuff like that. So this game, all Dave here. Hard to point to a play that Alec really went wrong. Just how it goes sometimes in Scrabble.
Yeah, I found Roma to be interesting. I
Yeah, what I guess we just tuned into the game when that play was made, so we didn't get a chance to cut our teeth too far into that. Um, did you see other plays that you liked much better?
No, I didn't see anything. That's why I'm sort of I mean, I know that he kept a U. Okay, so he just gives up. He plays gulpers. He knows that Dave's just gonna
Yep.
block triple. That's the only way for him to lose. So
And we did talk about this before with this idea of if Alec had a fraction of less than 1% chance of winning, should he go for the win or should he pack it in and try to cut his losses by as much as he can? And I think he's made the correct decision here to say, all right, maybe in a million years I might win this game one time with a triple through PE, but it's very, very unlikely to happen. And it's better off for me to just cut my losses and play something nice to the triple there with gulpers. Seems reasonable to me.
yeah, honestly, the big thing is like, what if you actually pull this game off somehow? Um, is it really worth the embarrassment of your opponent losing it? Like, I don't know.
Oh, wow, that's very empathetic of you, Josh. So
Uh,
when you're
Trying,
going
I'm
for
trying.
when you're going for a crazy upset win, sometimes you think to yourself, well, it would really hurt my opponent's feelings if I won this game. Is that true?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I definitely
You've
think
never you've never shown any
definitely make
concern for
those
my you've
considerations.
never shown any concern for my feelings when we play. You do
No, I
many
mean,
plays that hurt my feelings.
no, it was following the mess you made in our annotated games. It was following that I decided, you know what? Will's such a great guy. He didn't deserve this. Like, come on.
Yep, Josh has made a number of plays against me over the years that basically are the Scrabble equivalent of kind of like dunking on somebody, tomahawk slam dunk on somebody. And I gotta say, it's fun almost because a lot of the plays that Josh will make are very creative. It's why Josh is a really good commentator as well. Just seeing a lot of these cool possibilities almost immediately after they appear on the board. So it's a good mix. We got me who knows the words and you who knows how to play.
That might have been true like 5 years ago, Will, but at this point, you definitely know how to play very, very well, and I think honestly, I think your commentary in this event so far has been very, very good.
Well, just give
I
me
would say
time. Just give me time to wear down because I'm at max brain power here. We don't know how long we can keep this up. So yeah. Oh, interesting. Insertion play being suggested of just Orei. So you see at that top right part of the board, the A of Amadine and the REI word, which I think is a currency. Is that like a Chinese currency or something? I don't know. I don't want to get in trouble saying the wrong definition, but cool idea of putting a U in between that spot. But ultimately, at this point, purely academic. Dave is up by roughly 200 points, so he's off to a nice win. Oh, my camera froze. I wonder if people can hear me.
Oh, I can hear you.
All right, let me see if I can fix it on Discord. Oh no, I'm good on Discord. So, um, yeah, probably just disable and re-enable.
Can you see me? I'm still here, everybody. Hi.
Josh looks perfect. Yeah, Josh
Hey.
looks perfect.
Will is in the upside down. So an Orei is a gold coin of ancient Rome. Will was correct, and a play like I don't know, Hubbub at L1 would have been really cool.
Oh
We
my
like
God, yeah, something like that would have been great. Um, yeah, Shin,
anyways,
maybe I'll disable my camera here and try turning it on.
close to yeah, yeah, close to a lot of bingos here for Alec, but yeah, he's trying to solve the end game. So as we were talking about, spread is an extremely important factor in these tournaments. Spread, the differential between your games, the total amount of points difference between you and your opponents. So it's actually really important at times to play the right end game play just to get those extra few points. And that might put you in a favorable position later on in the tournament. So Linak was played. Seems decent. I think keeping the IST combination is gonna allow Alec to score a lot of points next turn.
Yeah,
Uh,
that looks good.
and he was just trying to see if there are any, I think, any outplays for his opponent. That's the biggest deal. Like when you're playing in a Scrabble endgame, you don't look at your plays first. You really just look at your opponent's plays because your plays don't really matter until you realize what your opponent's options are because they're just going to be able to respond. So you look at your opponent's plays, you see what can they do. You have an LNOU rack. There might be some outplay that is available that you might have to block.
That would be amazing. I mean, is it possible that Linak, I think so, Loun is a valid Collins word. Is it possible that was the only outplay and Linak successfully blocks that play
I think
and
so. I think
guarantees Alec another spot? That's very clever, if so. And I would also add that, when I'm talking about Scrabble to players that don't know our community that well, and I try to describe the metamorphosis that occurs in every individual game of Scrabble. The easiest way that I like to put it, it's not a perfect comparison, but each game of Scrabble sort of it starts out closer to poker than anything else, where there's so much uncertainty and so much unseen information, incomplete information. And over the course of a Scrabble game, more and more tiles are played, and it ends up resembling more of a chess game where all of the information is known and you can actually calculate lines, literal lines of attack, just as you would in a chess game because you know exactly what your opponent has, especially online, right? So when you're playing online, the computer, the website does all of that for you. and you can start making those types of calculations and make plays that look very different from the norm because you're specifically responding to what tiles your opponent has. So that's the best way that I like to describe it, and that perfectly describes Alec's play of Linak there. And I think of Alec also as being really good at this sort of thing, at solving those endgame positions. Josh, do you think, is that my assessment
I
relatively
mean,
accurate?
based on the information that most people in this chat have, I mean, he's an amazing endgame player. Linak is a really tough play to spot. Even if you see that LOUN is the only outplay, you're probably going to start looking at how you can play a top yeah and how to block it. But instead, Linak scores a few more points, and yeah, it's an amazing endgame play, and I think Alec is a very young player, the youngest ever national champion, and he's just getting better and better. Um, yeah, I think your analysis is really good. Starts kind of like poker, then becomes more and more like chess, and the whole time you're playing a Scrabble game, it's Scrabble. That's the best part.
Yes, absolutely. I'm only comparing the games in terms of this game theoretic idea of, information completeness or incompleteness, right? The actual experience of playing the games is very substantively different in all three of the games. But of course, really to me, the similarities between the games is not necessarily contained to the games themselves, but more the mentality that you have to achieve success and to achieve learning in each of the games, because they are all sufficiently strategically complex or thematically complex. In Scrabble's case, there is that memory component where learning the entire dictionary is a major challenge, that I don't think you have to spend as long learning the way the chess pieces move or the symbols on a deck of cards. So it's a very different situation, but certainly the complication, the computation rather that you have to perform in a chess game can go many, many moves further in advance than you'll ever see in a Scrabble game. So it's just very different. But the similarities are fun to pontificate about, I guess.
So
Um,
as we see the game ending, was played under Cohen. There are lots of plays that were basically equivalent to in terms of scoring 16 and leaving two letters, or scoring 14 leaving one letter. But actually, it might have been better to sacrifice a couple points, play OU, TO, and FEU just to block the best outplay of ITS. So it's possible that Jella Mocha's Alex Sjoholm solved this endgame and Dave did not. And as a result, he salvaged a few points of spread, and we'll see if that comes into play later. But now one of the 3-0s is 3-1, and one of them is 4-0. So congrats to Dave on his win here.
Yeah, so Alec in the chat is saying sad game, lost 4 bingos to 0. Alec, I don't think you did anything that we object to. That's just Scrabble, of course. Whenever you sit
Eng.
down to play Scrabble, you incur the risk of this type of game happening, and just as easily the next game could be Alex to come out on top 4 bingos to 0 in his favor.
And I
So
would say that the play of Eng was just a moral victory that's more important than the actual victory of winning this game. I think Eng was just an amazing play by Alec, so congrats on that one, honestly.
yeah, we love that play of Aang. It's just a beautiful play. That really is a top notch play. Hard to think of that idea there, and it's just great when you make a play like Aang and you connect on that T, which is that money tile after a play like that. That's going to make that play work perfectly for you.